a cats and dogs reign here.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, it came down pretty good.
Oh, good.
Okay. Good evening, Holly. Good evening, Mark.
Hello, hello.
Now, seriously, was that cats and dogs?
You know, I was actually on a call. I was on a Zoom call, and I'm not facing the window, so I could not tell. But my dogs thought it was cats and dogs. That's for sure.
Yeah. I got one online and I had two items sitting on the porch that said that they were delivered. So I ran out, and by the time I got there, I was totally soaked.
So,
But I saved them. I saved them both. Let's see, Canyon is not going to be here. It's his wife's birthday. Trustee Lowe is not going to attend. And did you hear from Trustee Miller, Administrator Simonson?
She indicated she was going to attend.
Okay, so we'll wait.
Is Attorney Dittman going to be present?
He as well was supposed to be.
Okay.
I know he's joining us from Florida, so maybe just trying to get connected up.
How was your hike, Mayor Pro Tem?
It was a great day up there. We got back to the shuttle lot just about 10 minutes before the rain hit, so worked well. Yeah, it's a beautiful day up there in the park.
I will text both of them.
Okay.
yeah, I had to enter the passcode instead of just automatically getting in, so that took an extra minute.
There's Trustee Miller. Good evening.
Ignore my message, Trustee Miller. He's trying to get on right now.
Okay.
I know the 5 o'clock kind of messed people up too, but we were trying to work around the events that were supposed to start happening tonight. July 1st. Oh my goodness. He said he thinks the link is bad. Oh, he must be on Monday night's meeting.
Yeah. Why don't you text him?
Marissa, are you able to find tonight's link and send that to him?
Yep, I can do
I'll let
that.
him know. I bet he's on the wrong link.
I had to
Yeah, and-
type it in.
You had trouble too?
Yeah, I had to type it in. I had to go to Zoom and then type it in from the very beginning instead of having the link work.
I did the same. Maybe just sending the two numbers and tell them to type them in.
There he is.
Okay. Good evening, Counselor.
Good evening, Mariangela. I'm really sorry. Apparently I had the
Don't be
wrong
sorry.
one.
Don't be
So-
sorry, sir. Don't be sorry at all. We're ready to go now. I'll call the Thursday, July 1st, 2021 Trustees meeting to order. Could we have the roll clerk?
Deputy Clerk, can you call the roll?
Mayor Angelo,
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Browning,
Present.
Trustee Caravas,
Present.
Trustee Lowell, Trustee Miller,
Present.
Trustee Rogan,
Present.
Trustee Waugh,
Thank you. Please all rise and recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God,
Spoken with liberty and justice for all.
and justice for all. Do we have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
A second?
I'll second.
Could we please have the roll call, Madam Clerk?
Mayor Angelo,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Browning,
Aye.
Trustee Caravas,
Aye.
Trustee Miller, Trustee Miller.
Can hear me.
Oh, there you go. Trustee Rogan,
Aye.
The agenda is approved unanimously. A motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
Right.
Would anybody like to remove anything for discussion from the consent agenda? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote, Madam Clerk.
Mayor Angelo,
Aye.
I have a question real quick.
Go ahead.
The consent agenda meaning general business?
No, the consent agenda meaning the accounts
Oh, okay,
payable, I
sorry. Yeah,
believe.
sorry. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Continue, Madam Clerk.
Mayor Angelo,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Browning,
Aye.
Trustee Carvis,
Aye.
Trustee Miller,
Yay.
Trustee Rogan.
Aye.
The consent agenda is approved unanimously. We need a motion to adjourn the special Board of Trustees meeting and enter into a meeting as the Board of Ethics.
So moved.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote, Madam Clerk.
Mayor Angelo,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Browning,
Aye.
Trustee Carvis,
Aye.
Trustee Miller,
Yay.
and Trustee Rogan.
Aye.
We now are in the Board of Ethics meeting. Madam Clerk, could you please read item 4-1 into the record?
Board of Trustees review of ethics complaint. Am I reading, I'm sorry, general business?
No. Under Board of Trustees meeting is Board of Ethics. The next item is 4-1, consideration of an ethics complaint. Do you have that? I'll read it into the record if you don't.
I can as well, sir.
I don't have that, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
So-
Administrator Simonson, why don't you do that?
Sure. Item 1 is consideration of an ethics complaint against Trustee Lowell regarding disclosure of executive session discussions.
Thank you. Counselor, I have a statement from Trustee Lowell. Is it proper for me to read that into the record at this time?
Mayor Angelo, either you can read it into the record or Deputy Clerk Davis can also read it into the record.
Trustee Lowell requested that I read it into the record, so I'm going to.
We want to start with the background?
Well, I would like everybody to at least hear this, and then we can. I think we're all familiar with the background, but I think I'll just read it into the record. Mayor Angelo and Board of Trustees. First, my sincerest apologies for causing this ethics meeting to convene. I know your time is valuable and regret causing you to attend yet another meeting because of my mistake. Second, I screwed up. I know that now and should have known it before I posted information discussed at an executive session on social media. No excuse. In my zeal to respond to a resident's query, I completely let down my guard and my responsibility to the town. I can assure you such an incident will never occur again. My most heartfelt apology to Mayor Angelo, who I put in a difficult situation having to file this complaint, and to the board for subjecting you to my stupid mistake. Sincerely, Greg Lowell, trustee. At least we know where Trustee Lowell sits in regard to making his mistake. Now, I'm not as familiar with this as I probably should be, Counselor. Where do we, how do we proceed from here?
I think we can proceed with any other staff background that the mayor would like to have or the board would like to have. And then after that is a discussion on whether the board should proceed towards a hearing on discipline.
Okay. Staff background?
I guess I can give the staff background
Okay.
if you wish. So I think as the board is aware, based on the nature of the complaint, Trustee Lowell submitted information on Facebook considering information which was divulged during executive session. The information incorrectly assumed that a decision had been made in executive session, which of course I think we all know. No official decisions can be made in executive session. However, the ethics code is very clear that ethics information cannot be disclosed during executive session. And so therefore, I believe for that reason, Mayor Angelo filed a complaint on that basis. And so I think tonight the process is whether or not the board would like to proceed towards a hearing on discipline towards the conduct which gave rise to the ethics complaint, or whether the board would like to not proceed towards a hearing on discipline and dispose of the complaint at this point in time. And I apologize for my bad connection. If that's where it's at this point, I am on a condo on the 9th floor by the ocean. So
You're loud and clear, Counselor. And
okay, good. Yeah, I feel like what I'm hearing back is very not exactly the best quality, but
no, it's fine. It's fine. Are there any comments at this time from any of the board members? Mayor Pro Tem Browning?
Yeah, I believe a very similar situation happened as before I was on the board, and I think as even before Trustee Caravas and Trustee Miller were on the board, where a board member disclosed information that had come from an executive session. And I believe what the board at that time did was the least severe sanction, if you want to call it that, under the ethics code, which was basically a reprimand, and the trustee, and as Trustee Lowell has done, stated that it wouldn't happen again. I don't think we need an investigation, and if we don't have to have a separate hearing, I suggest we just follow that same course here, and I think the problem will be resolved.
Any further comments, Trustee Rogan?
I'd like to know why Trustee Lowell isn't present tonight.
I cannot answer that. I don't know whether it was a previous engagement. I simply cannot answer that. We could perhaps ask him on Monday.
Tuesday.
yeah, Tuesday. I hope it's Tuesday.
I keep forgetting that.
I know it's hard to remember.
Trustee Miller.
Being on the other end of these ethics complaints more than once, I would like to say that it's never comfortable to be on the other end of it. And I think that it's really very disrespectful and disgraceful that he's not here to pay the piper, so to speak, or to, face the music. I think that he made a very big mistake, and it wasn't the first time he's made the mistake. He made it the week prior to that, where the lawyer, the attorney Dittman, sent out a email to all of us reminding us not to do that, to post stuff on Facebook about the summit thing in general, due to the very nature of it. So the fact that he turned around the next week and posted an executive session information about it is beyond me. It's just preposterous in my mind. And therefore, I don't think that he can be even the slightest bit unbiased in this decision-making process in any way when it comes to that particular subject. And I would like to make a motion that he must recuse himself for all other summit discussions.
I think that, and correct me, Counselor,
Or move
if I need
forward with
correcting.
disciplinary.
If I need correcting, please correct me. Where this discussion is about at this time, disclosing information from an executive session. I don't think that it, I could be wrong. I don't think that it, I don't see anything in the ethics code that could require a trustee to recuse themselves in any further discussion. Am I mistaken?
Mary Angela, I think you're correct as to there's nothing in this discussion in particular which would force a trustee to recuse themselves from any further discussion with regard to Summit. However, Trustee Miller did ask in the alternative that a hearing on disciplinary action be commenced. And so I think that is a proper motion. So if there's a second on whether to commence a disciplinary action on Trustee Lowell's behavior or Trustee Lowell's actions, that would be a proper motion at this time.
Trustee Miller? Was that your intent?
Yes.
Okay. Do we have a second?
I second that.
We have a motion and a second as stated by Trustee Miller to pursue a disciplinary action in the subject before us. I'll call for the vote, Madam Clerk.
Mayor Angelo,
No.
Mayor Pro Tem Browning,
Excuse me. I think Mayor Pro Tem Browning has his hand raised for discussion.
I'm
so
sorry, I forgot to ask for any comments. Mayor Pro Tem?
Yeah, this discussion. When the prior instance of a similar thing happening occurred, did it go to an actual hearing and a formal disciplinary action of some sort taken, or was it done on this preliminary basis where there was basically a acceptance of an apology, promise not to repeat, and basically a reprimand? That wasn't here before, so did it go to a hearing with disciplinary action before?
Administrator Simonson?
I would need to look at the minutes. I did not think we were comparing, so I don't know that answer.
Trustee Miller?
There was an email written by myself after seeing the thread to Attorney Dittman asking if it was proper for these comments to be made by trustees. And he then sent out an email to all of us just 2 weeks ago saying, please do not post anything on social media. Again, please do not post anything on social media regarding this. This was just prior to the other meeting that we had. What date was that? Mid-June, I believe, with the Summit folks.
Okay, I want to get back to the question that the Mayor Pro Tem asked. I do not believe that I have ever heard of that previous error of disclosing confidential information went any further than the apology. I could be mistaken, but I don't believe I am. Are there any further comments? Trustee Rogan.
Yeah, thank you. I'm not sure that what happened in the past with a different trustee is applicable to this case. I don't know the circumstances around what was disclosed in an executive session. Apparently it was a number of years ago. And I would just like to point out that the public needs to trust their trustees to be able to keep confidential information confidential. And so I'm concerned a little bit that if we don't have a hearing, at least, we'll be losing some trust from our constituents because we'll be letting a colleague just sort of take a pass on this, which I take extremely seriously. I mean, we have to be able to trust that we can trust each other to keep confidential information confidential.
It's an interesting concept because this information eventually will be public. You know, we all know that. Once we do enter into discussions in the future in an open meeting, all of this information will be disclosed. And so I'll reiterate, as a precedent, this same offense was not taken to a disciplinary hearing. Let me put it that way. I don't know what the circumstances were, but in that particular case, which was very similar to this case, there was no disciplinary action taken. I am almost 100% positive because of the complaint who it was filed against. I'm most certain that there was no disciplinary action taken and that the apology was accepted in good faith. Any further discussion? Administrator Simonson.
I have found the original complaint filed. If the clerk can find the minutes from the meeting, it was held on somewhere around the end of October 2015 against Trustee Johnson. And her situation was she exposed information discussed during an executive session to a Parks staff member that she thought was in the session. It was not on a public social media page. It was to a town staff that she thought was the project manager of the project, but it wasn't. So if you can find the minutes of how they handled that, Marissa, I am not able to get to those 2015 minutes from my access.
I am looking right now.
Let's make sure it wasn't a disclosure in the newspaper under her column.
It isn't. It was written by Mayor John O'Brien. I have the actual write-up of the complaint,
Okay.
but I don't have the minutes of the meeting. And it says that she emailed a woman named Sloan, who was our park staff, about the parks project that was discussed in executive session.
Okay.
And Sloan reported it to her supervisor, Dave Cosgrove. Dave reported it to me.
All right, everyone should be able to see that. And here's the minutes from that meeting.
Can see it now before I cannot see it. So
Okay.
Thank you. So it looks like the question before the board was whether to proceed with the hearing as it is tonight. And then the disposition of the complaint was to the town attorney to issue a written letter of reprimand to the Board of Trustees in lieu of a hearing, is my read of the minutes.
Right. Has everybody read it? Okay, can we have our screen back? Thank you. So we do have a motion and a second. As stated by Trustee Miller. Are there any further comments? If not, Mayor Pro Tem.
Yeah, just for the record, I'm going to vote against this motion because I think the same course should be followed that was followed previously.
Okay,
Prior situation.
any further comments?
Can we reread the motion, please?
The motion is to commence on disciplinary action against Trustee Lowell.
Okay. Further comments? Trustee Miller.
Just to be clear, the previous was a reprimand and a reprimand letter and a class at CML, correct? Not a disciplinary hearing.
That's correct.
Okay.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further comments? I'll call for the vote.
Mayor Angela,
No.
Mayor Pro Tem Browning,
No?
Trustee Kervis,
No.
Trustee Miller,
Yes. Yay.
Trustee Rogan.
Yes.
The motion fails by a vote of 3-2. Are there any other comments or motions by the Board of Trustees in this regard? Mayor Pro Tem Browning.
Move that we direct the town attorney to prepare a written letter of reprimand. And that we also direct Trustee Lowell to attend an appropriate CML course on social media policy and confidentiality.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second as stated by the Mayor Pro Tem. Any further discussion? If not, I'll call for the vote.
Mayor Angelo, Mayor Angelo,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Browning,
Aye.
Trustee Kervis,
Aye.
Trustee Miller,
Yay.
Trustee Rogan.
Aye.
The motion carries unanimously. You have your direction, Counselor. Administrator Simonson, please inform Trustee Lowell how to attend a CML conference in regard to the subject matter that he needs to attend and be educated on. Okay?
Thank you, Mayor Angelo. We'll make sure that happens.
Thank you, sir. And thank everybody. I think that that's proper, as was voted on unanimously. Item 5-1, please read that into the record, Madam Clerk.
Review of confidentiality expectations and social media policy.
Counselor?
Thank you, Mayor Angelo. I just want to take this time to review the confidentiality provisions of the ethics code, which is essentially that, according to the direct provisions of the ethics code, that trustees shall maintain the confidentiality of information deemed to be confidential under federal or state or local law, including but not limited to information discussed in a duly called executive session held by the Board of Trustees. And what this means is that trustees are expected to maintain information discussed in an executive session in strictly confidential terms. So we cannot disclose that via social media or via any other vehicle. And so that's that piece of the discussion. I also wanted to remind trustees that we do have a social media policy that should have been included in the Board of Trustees packet. And that social media policy says that you cannot present positions which you are viewed as official of the town of Lyons moving forward. And so you must separate your social media accounts as being the official trustee of the town of Lyons, and also your personal views as a trustee of the town of Lyons. And if you're going to have a personal view as a citizen of the town of Lyons versus a trustee, you must put a disclaimer on that position that this is my personal view. It does not represent the position of the town of Lyons. And so social media is a tricky subject. We've had workshops on this in the past, but essentially you can be held liable as a personal individual if you don't separate out the official actions as a trustee versus your personal social media postings. And so while you may have personal views as a citizen of the town of Lyons, which are protected by the First Amendment, you must separate those from your official position as a trustee of the town of Lyons. And so I want to remind everyone, and I believe the social media rules were included as part of the packet, that you separate those out. And if you are going to express an opinion in your personal position, that you put the disclaimer on that position moving forward. And I'd be happy to answer any questions. This is a very active topic. There has been federal decisions very recently in Colorado on this with regards to Representative Bober and others in Colorado, including many city officials, as to what the difference is between their social media accounts as a personal individual versus their social media accounts as an elected individual.
Any questions for Counselor?
It looks like Trustee Miller has a question.
Miller?
I'm just wondering if we can put this on the agenda for Monday when Trustee Lowell is actually present and can be reminded and aware of this policy as well.
I think I'd ask Administrator Simonson whether the agenda has been posted, but I would not be opposed to putting this as a general business item.
Has it been posted, Administrator Simonson?
It has, but we have, with the meeting not being until Tuesday night, we can certainly update the agenda tomorrow and add something if that's what if you choose.
Does the board favor that?
Yep.
Yes, the board, a majority of the board favors that, so please do that.
And hopefully on Tuesday, I mean, I won't be at the ocean and, could have a better both video screen and not what I assume is audio interference based on what I'm hearing back from my audio feed. So
it's been fine all night. It's been fine. Any other business? Any other questions for Attorney Dibman?
I have one that's slightly off topic.
Go ahead.
Just to double check where you are in Florida, because there's a rumor that my son and a bunch of friends just flew down to the Keys. There's a friend and a brother, and they've been on the ocean all day. I just want to make sure you're not hanging out with those guys.
So I'm in Daytona Beach, and I can show you a video maybe if
okay.
my screen. But
okay,
I'm in Daytona Beach, and it's absolutely beautiful.
It's
nice. All right. Thanks for your input on this, for helping us get through these things, Brandon. Appreciate it.
We can adjourn from an ethics meeting, can we not, Counselor?
We can, if the board has concluded its action.
I think the board has. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
A second?
I'll second that.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Mayor Angelo,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Browning,
Aye.
Trustee Caravis,
Aye.
Trustee Miller,
Yay.
and Trustee Rogan.
Aye.
This meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Oh, there's a
Don't
Victoria
show up
Simon.
on Monday, show up on Tuesday.
Tuesday. Yep.
And we're
Good
doing
fix.
executive session first, so
Yep.
instead of at the end.
We're doing important executive sessions first
Mhm.
from now on. As a matter of fact, as long as the board, I can't make that decision unilaterally. As long as the board agrees with that policy, I do not want to take important subject matters before us at 10:30 or 11 o'clock at night. I want to do it when we're fresh. I hope everybody agrees with that policy. I'll bring it up again at the meeting.
Yeah, the majority of the packet is up for you to start reviewing. We'll be adding some executive session materials tomorrow to you individually, not posted.
Okay,
And I'll get the new agenda up as well.
thank you.
Thank you.
And that one addition, please.
Yes,
Okay,
thank you.
good night.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good July 4th.
Have a nice 4th.
Yeah.
Be safe
Right.
down there, Brandon.
Yeah.
I will. Thank you.